The views, takes and opinions expressed on this show are of the host's own and do not represent the views, takes and opinions of the BUNK Collective and its affiliates. Material and sources mentioned in this episode is for general and commentary purposes only. This episode might include strong language and may not be suitable for children. Listener discretion is advised. Stay safe and stay wrestle everyone. Welcome to the main event, Mark.
Hi. Hello. You're listening to the Main Event Mark podcast. Ayan. Welcome to the Main Event Mark podcast. Yes, you heard that right. We are no longer the MTA Show podcast, a wrestling podcast, and we are now being branded as the Main Event Mark podcast. So there's a lot of explanations in the way on how we rebranded things here on this show, but there's two things that I make assure, no? Meron akong dalawang bagay na gustong i-assure sa inyo. Number one, hindi po magbabago ang timpla ng show. This show will just serve as a spiritual successor of the MTA Show podcast. But kung ano yung napapakinggan nyo doon, mas maririnig nyo dito because we have a different tune with different type of things that we don't do there before, and now you will hear it here on Main Event. Ayan. So you're listening to the Main Event Mark podcast, and today we're going to do a lot of things and address a lot of things, to tell some things and to tell a lot of things out of my chest. The joke lang. It's not a perfect time yet. Pero we are going to get that in our way. So, for now, marami muna akong papasalamatan at i-address. So, yun nga. Matagal ako nawala. That's 3 weeks because nagkasakit ako. Sunod-sunod yun. Dapat i-release yung episode for Noche Buena. Kaso sa kasamang palad, hindi ko na nagawa. Kasi medyo malala yung naging lagay ko that time. So luckily I'm okay now. And then yun na nga, nagkasunod-sunod na, nag-execute na tayo ng rebranding. So yun ang mas pinarioritize natin. So eto, I hope guys na you can stay until the end. So therefore we can address some elephant in the room. We can address some updates then. Hindi ko naman napag-uusapan dito sa beginning. So gusto ko lang magbigay ng heads up sa inyo. Kung hindi nyo gusto yung ganitong format, I hope you guys can adjust na lang the duration ng pinapakinggan nyo ngayon. But thank you for listening on the Main Event Mark podcast, and I hope you guys will like it. And yung adjustments na ginagawa natin here in the show is iba yung vibe na makukuha natin. And I hope you guys can appreciate it. So for now, hindi na tayo magpapatagal. Let's start the show with some 5 takes. So, number 1. So, it is from Worlds End pay-per-view. Samoa Joe defeated MJF for the AEW World Championship. And then, after of the match, Adam Cole was revealed as the Devil. The Devil. As expected, nagulat ba kayo? Hindi. That's what I want to make you guys assure. Na hindi na tayo magugulat if kung sino man yung devil, kasi August pa lang, detalyado na kung sino yung devil, di ba? Sinasabi ko na rin yan dito sa inyo. Di kayo nakikinig sa akin. Pero maraming salamat naman kung may nakinig doon, no? Pero yun na nga, ina-expect ko na talaga na si Adam Cole yung devil na to. Hindi na rin ako nagulat. And hindi na rin nagulat yung karamihan. So it's not a surprise. Regarding on Samoa Joe, that's a good thing that they let Samoa Joe win the tournament. We will address more on the better half of the show. Number 2, we have the New Year's stuff that WWE provided to us. So marami din tayong i-address dyan in half of the show. So ito, let's start with the New Year's day 1 sa Raw. So they have The Rock appearing with Jinder Mahal Jinder Mahal was revealed as the WWE champion. That's a good thing. Marami tayong i-address mamaya. Mamaya i-address natin yan lahat sa second half ng show na to. Then, tong New Year's Evil, they had a lot of changes there. Like yung kay Dragon Lee, not be able to compete. Then yung main event was changed to due to Ilya not being medically cleared. So most likely magte-take place na siya sa susunod na PLE ni NXT, which is Vengeance Day. Yon. And then yun nga, nagkaroon din ng interaction si KO at si Grayson Waller. That's a good thing kasi may continuity talaga. May continuity talaga yung mga stories. And then SmackDown, we have this three-way na nangyari sa SmackDown main event. Then Roman Reigns ruined the whole thing. Then Nick Aldis announced that the main event of Wrestle Kingdom, the Royal Rumble, will be a fatal four-way match for the undisputed WWE Undisputed Championship. So that's an interesting thing to fold with the Roman Reigns thing, especially with Aldis not fearing Roman. That's a good touch din on the gimmick ni Nick Aldis. Mamaya marami tayong pag-uusapan sa second half ng show na to. So mamaya i-address natin yan lahat. Okay, so next, Sanada was defeated by Tetsuya Naito, the winner of this year's G1 Climax, for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Also to add, David Finlay defeated John Moxley and Will Ospreay for the IWGP Global Championship. And then Nick Nemeth made his New Japan debut by attacking David Finlay na wala namang bipake. And yun, bigyan natin ng konting recap tong Wrestle Kingdom sa second half ng show to. So doon natin i-address yung mga thoughts ko about Wrestle Kingdom. Yun, continue. So number 4, TNA announced that the promotion will have a streaming deal with Endeavor, which is WWE's partner or WWE's parent company. So, alam naman natin na si Endeavor din ang gumawa ng ilan sa mga streaming services na meron tayo ngayon, like yung UFC Fight Pass, yung WWE Network ngayon, kahit hindi pa siya nabibili ng Endeavor, sila na ang gumawa ng bagong WWE Network interface. So, not different here with TNA Plus. Mamaya pag-usapan natin sa second half ng show na to yung mga thoughts ko about TNA Plus so far. Finally, number 5 on our 5 takes this week, we are going to have the local wrestling scene, which is MWF. There's 2 things to address. Number 1, in-address na ng MWF yung 2024 show schedule na in-announce una noon Noche Buena 2023. So the dates are as follows. So April 14 will be at Kasaysayan sa UP Film Institute. So lahat ng Manila Wrestling Federation shows will be at the UP Diliman. Pero yung Big 3 will be at Bahay ng Alumni. And then the rest of the shows, yung AKTVs, will be held sa Film Institute. So Kasaysayan will be on April 14. May 12 is MWF Republica. July 9 is Lights Camera Action. July 7 is Gigilat Romansa. August, MWF Road to Fate. September, TAL, Tuloy ang Laban, September 15. October 13 is Todos Los Wrestling. And December 1 is MWF Noche Buena. So that's all of the events na mangyayari po this year for MWF. And also, speaking of MWF, Dexcon announced few days ago that Romeo Moran, or Romeo, his ring name, will make his in-ring return, teaming up with Main Max against the current WU, or World Underground Wrestling Champions, in the name of ba tawag dito? Nakalimutan ko yung pangalan niya. in the name of TZK, so it's ano ba tawag dito? Anong tawag sa stable nila? Nakalimutan ko yung stable. Okay, okay. Yan. Yeah. So, it's TZK na nga lang. Ano ba yan? So, it's TZK. So, it's at Ken Cypher and St. John Martin. So, it's a really interesting matchup because Gemini Kings are the tag champions then when they left PWR. So, this will serve as a big barricade to the story of Main Max na mamaya pag-uusapan natin towards the end of the show yung thoughts ko about MWF Noche Buena. As alam ko late na. Pero yun nga, marami tayong pag-uusapan sa episode na to. So, you guys, listen. Makinig lang kayo. Kaya mamaya pag-usapan natin. So, yun na nga. So, nag-stroll tayo ngayon sa MWF at sa Descon just to confirm this information. Pero, yun na nga. Yun na ang yun na ang ating 5 takes this week on the podcast. Marami tayong pag-uusapan to the second half towards the third half of the show. If you like this format, you can give some opinions about it. And mamaya, marami-rami tayong pag-uusapan towards the second half of the show. So for the meantime, we have to inform you that Main Event Mark is on all of the it's on all of the podcast platforms. So alamin naman na lahat ng podcast platforms, which is Spotify, Apple, sa Google, sa YouTube syempre, we are on YouTube. Mamaya magdi-discuss tayo ng plug. So you can follow this show on MEM Wrestling Pod. So it's a main
Annyeong, we are One to Sarang.
Your next favorite Hallyu podcast.
We talk K-drama.
Ang daming kilig every time
Oh my
we
God.
hear K-drama. We also talk K-pop.
Yung feeling ko sa 17 na they bring me so much happiness.
And we live to entertain.
What you gonna do when Dicky steak in front of
Check us out now on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Also on YouTube. Join us sa Tawanan at Kwentuhan from One to Sarang.
Been wanting to learn about different careers? Or just need that nudge to pursue your passion projects? Here at Project Offbeat Careers Podcast, we talk to guests with unique careers outside the usual corporate shtick. Listen to historians, gamers, teachers, and cosplayers. See how they've succeeded and how you can apply their learnings to your workplace. Catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. And get ready to take the off-beaten path with us.
Hey, welcome back to the Main Event Mark Podcast. You're listening to this as the BUNK Collective's wrestling podcast on our collective. So if you're listening to the show right now, I hope that you can follow and support the show as well on all of our social media platforms. That's Facebook, that's on X, TikTok, Instagram, Twitch. Sa TikTok natin na kino-convert ko pa as of this recording. And also on our threads, that's MEM Wrestling Pod. So it's Main Event Mark MEM Wrestling Pod. So lahat po yan pare-parehas. So that's MEM Wrestling Pod. You can also support the podcast on Patreon. So that's the same Patreon that we have over on the MT Show. So that's MEM patreon.com/MEM Wrestling Pod. And also on YouTube, same platform din, youtube.com/MEM Wrestling Pod. So, yun lang, MEM Wrestling Pod. Lahat naman yan. So, ang gagamitin man natin na platform dyan, it's MEM Wrestling Pod. So, it's Mike Echo Mike Wrestling Pod. Yun lang sa atin dito sa podcast. Also on BUNK Collective, I hope you guys can support all of the BUNK Collective shows. You can visit the website, thebunkph.com, and on our social media at thebunkph. Yun lang. For now, let's try to do some recap now of all of the WWE shows. So, dito tayo mag-start. Mamaya marami tayong i-address Kasi dinivide ko na yung episode. Episode 196. The next episode of this show will be our thoughts for TNA Hard to Kill at saka yung mga thoughts ko on the upcoming card that they're going to have this Sunday Manila time on TNA Plus. Pero dito ko pag-uusapan yung thoughts ko sa TNA Plus. No worries. Dito natin pag-uusapan yan. Okay. So, let's address first some matches from WWE Day 1 dito po sa Monday Night Raw. So, Monday Night Raw started a little different. So, light crowd siya. Then, wala na nga si Kevin Dunn. Di ko na siya i-address ng mahaba, pero Kevin Dunn left the company a few weeks ago. And, good riddle dance. Yun lang masasabi ko. Pansin natin sa lahat ng WWE programming this week, Raw o SmackDown, medyo nagbago na yung imahe ng mga pictures sa camera presentation ng WWE. That's a good thing. Yeah. Kung paano na i-angle yung mga cameras for the shows, that's a good thing for me. And napakaganda ng improvement kumpara sa mga putang ng kuha ni Nick Dan. Pero bawas-bawasan niyo naman yung pag-span ng crowd. Yung parang nakakabuisit, puro kayo sa pan ng crowd. Parang piniplex niya lagi na sold out. It's not a bad thing though. Parang in a way, sayang sa oras yung mga ganong pag-span ng camera. Pero WWE loves to do that. Pamplex lang para masabing sold out. Anyways, continue natin. So we have Becky Lynch versus Nia Jax. This match, that was a nice match, or that was a solid match that we have to address. Parang medyo ang ganda eh. Sobrang comfortable siya kumpara before. I love Nia Jax. Nia Jax here just shined more. Nag-shine siya ng malala. Oo. Sa tingin ko this match ni Nia Jax, mas nag-shine siya ng matindi. Kumpara sa mga matches niya before, na hindi ganun napapansin kung nag-shine ba talaga siya. Ngayon, mas ramdam natin na nag-shine talaga si Nia Jax. So that's a good thing. So, I hope people can appreciate Nia Jax more. I hope people can give their respect on Nia more. Pucha, minimiscredit nyo lalo si Nia eh. Habang tumatagal na siya sa company, binibigyan nyo lalo ng discredit. And that's a bad thing though. Pero yun, that was a really good match between Becky and Nia. And I think presenting this match, opening the show, gives more a pressure and also pleasure din. Kasi sobrang solid talaga, as in. Sobrang solid ng match na to. Not a bad match though. Pero ang magandang improvement naman on Nia's side though, mas komportable na talaga siya. Napapansin ko yun, noticeable, sobra. That was a really good match. Okay, so Kofi Kingston and Jey Uso versus Imperium. Di natin pag-uusapan to, medyo disaster yung nangyari dito. Referee stoppage yung nangyari, so medyo improvised na yung story na to. I kinda sad for Imperium though, kay Giovanni Vinci, pero I hope that's a selling lang. Pero mukhang injured talaga, pero sana hindi talaga. Pero yeah, yun. That's a good thing though. Okay, so let's continue. We have here the Awesome Truth. Coming back for 2 episodes now. So we have this Awesome Truth. First with JD and The Miz talking smash with each other. Then the match prior to this between R-Truth and JD, that was a fun match too. Pwede ko nga ilagay sa match of the week too and time of the week. Pero sige, mamaya natin na-address yan. Pero yan nga, that was a really fun Miz TV panimula. Pero yun nga, sobrang solid din ng match na to between Awesome Truth and Dominic and JD McDonough of the Judgment Day. Si R-Truth nagpe-pretend pa rin na member pa rin siya ng Judgment Day. Medyo silly, yes. Pero I really love it. I really love the way R-Truth spins every things. Kasi tingin niya kaya niyang paikutin. Sobrang nag-work siya, no? Yung kung anong makita mo kay R-Truth, it's very comfortable on him na magpatawa because it works on him. It's not because he's an idiot, pero most of the time, if you see R-Truth, matatawa ka talaga. Pero I hope before his career ends, I hope he can get a title match or title run. That would be great for him. And pero on this time of his career, I doubt na mabibigyan pa siya eh. Pero yeah, that's okay with me too. Because our truth is our truth regarding on that. No? Okay. So let's continue. So IB Nile versus Rhea Ripley. It's a title match for the Women's World Championship. This is the first time Rhea Ripley defended the title for a long time. Ewan ko bakit din. Pero yun, that was a really good, solid match. And alam mo, makikita mo kay Rhea. Si Rhea, alam mo, kada makikita natin siya lately mag-compete. Sobrang saya niya pa nagko-compete siya mas maliit sa kanya. Nakakatawa, pero yeah, that's a fact na Rhea Ripley sobrang komportable. Komportable talaga siya mag-compete against smaller woman. Di mo pag nakikita mo mag-compete si Rhea kay Raquel, o kaya kay Bianca, parang nababanas siya na, ang hirap ito Parang may ganun siya na factor. Pero yun I really love how Rhea goes with this woman. And sobrang ganda rin kasi talaga ng spin niya pag mas maliliit talaga sa kanya yung kalaban niya. And yeah, IB Nile, umaasa ko sa kanya na this just the beginning of a big run or big something for her. And I cannot wait to see more of IB Nile in 2024. Habang tumatagal pa siya sa main roster, marami pang darating sa kanya. I can assure her that. Okay. So, ito na nga, yung former WWE champion. So, we got Jinder Mahal. That was a really good, solid promo by Jinder. And every time a heel does this type of promos, alam natin totoo. Alam natin na totoo at relatable Ganito yung cliche na most of the time nagwo-work talaga sa Fed. Sa kahit saan promotion. Kung itong mga outsiders, term ko outsiders mas magandang i-term kasi. Yun. Yung mga hindi Americans na ginagawang heels na kasi sa mindset ni Vince McMahon, Americans should be cheered and heels should be, yung mga hindi Amerikano, should be booed. Pero yan, sobrang ganda ng spin dito ni Triple H na ilagay si Jinder as the former WWE champion. That was a really good, solid way to ruin the fun. Pero yan, that was a really good, solid appearance by Jinder, telling the truth. I hope na magtuloy-tuloy din yung run na to ni Jinder. Sana kasama rin yung Indus share. That would be great for sure. And giving him something, that would be great for me. Yan. Sobrang solid na Jinder. I hope they can capitalize on this. Sana hindi siya one time. Yan. Continue natin. So Jinder Mahal came with a chorus of boos. And yun nga. So he yelled at the crowd for being disrespectful. And then hindi nila matanggap na this was the surprise that Triple H can give to them. Kasi yun nag-trash talk na siya sa Amerika. Totoo din naman yung mga pinag-trash talk niya. Di lang ako makapagsalita kasi di naman tayo Amerikano no? Pero totoo naman. Then, pinakanta pa ni Jinder, kinanta niya yung American anthem. American National Anthem. Pero Punjabi. Yes, that was funny. That was a fun spin to Jinder's context here. And to prove his point, sobrang nakakatawa at sobrang effective din nung way na yon. And yun na nga, nag-continue na siya trash talking America, trash talking the people until The Rock appearing and ruin the whole thing. Yun na nga. So, here comes The Rock. The Rock is The Rock. I can assure you guys that. The Rock is The Rock. No one puts on a different level if you're pacing with The Rock. The Rock is The Rock. Yun ang sure ko. The Rock is The Rock. no one can come close with The Rock. When it comes to promos, that's because he is The Rock. Ginder tried, but The Rock is The Rock. Yun, that's the point. Okay, so continue natin. So he insulted Ginder, that's a very typical. Ayun, demeaning name, that's a very The Rock. Then the segment ended by Ginder attacking Rock. The Rock taking advantage, giving him a spine buster, then people's elbow. Here's the interesting part. So, Ginder, after nun, lumabas na siya, The Rock addressed na kung saan daw siya pwedeng kumain. Yun, that's the point. So, he addressed this head of the table thing. So, he called out Roman without mentioning his name. Pero, yun. That's a very cliche promo. People loved it. I loved it. Some people may mad. Yun. That's your basic Rock promo. It works. Then it works. Very simple. Let's continue. So, Shayna Baszler and so we start getting a title shot on the tag champions, which is 2KC. Natalia are Tegan Knox. Ito sabihin ko kayo dito medyo filler siya. Pero ang dumb kasi. Ang dumb to me that Zoe, Natty, Baszler, and Zoe Stark, they're all on a tag team. Mas nag-work silang lahat as singles. Let's face it, lahat sila nag-work as singles. I hope they can get someone credible na pwedeng mag-work more as singles, as a tag team. Like, eto, Fallon and Tiffany. Mamaya pag-uusapan natin si Fallon at si Tiffany pagdating ng NXT New Year's Evil. That was a really good thing. Okay? So, yun lang. So, main event, Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins for the undisputed WWE World Heavyweight Championship. So, that was a 20-minute match. Sobrang solid. They advertised this match as a solid 1-2. Yun. So, highlight of the match, Damian Priest attempt to cash in his Money in the Bank contract. Pero Drew McIntyre kinda interrupted Damian Priest's moment by cashing him the Money in the Bank briefcase. And wala na. Tapos na. Then, Seth Rollins ruined the whole thing. Seth Rollins ruined the whole thing. And eventually, he won. Pero, yeah. That was a fun match. Yun lang. So, tong Raw Day 1, I think this is great when it comes to wrestling-wise. Overall, kumpara sa dalawa pang shows na i-address natin mamaya. Mga may pag-usapan natin. Yun. Yun lang. Okay, so let's continue now with NXT New Year's Evil. So, konti lang naman ang pwede kong i-address dito since NXT is kinda, yeah. Okay, so let's start here with Lyra Valkyria versus Blair Davenport. This is for the NXT Women's Championship. So, Blair lost, obviously. That's a given one. So, Lyra Valkyria defeated Blair Davenport. That was a solid one. Ito interesting to sa akin Gusto ko i-mention to sa pick of the week ko. Lola Vice ran out with her contract, breakout contract for the title shot. Alam niyo si Lyra, I really love Lyra. Meron siyang self-awareness dito. Si Seth, wala. Si Damian, wala. So that's why I have to give the props to Lola Vice. Lola Vice na hindi naman Money in the Bank, pero mas may self-awareness pa siya kaysa sa may Money in the Bank. Ayun, so mas may alam pa si Lola Vice to miming ng cash in kaysa sa kanya. Yun nga lang na ruin syempre. Walang bago dun. Okay. So, yun lang. That was a really good match for Lyra as usual. nagde-deliver siya as usual, pero sana sunod-sunod na yung defense. Pero yun. So, okay. That's a good thing. Ayun, continue natin. So, LWO versus no quarter catch crew. So, Dragon Lee is stuck in Mexico. So, Carlito was the replacement, not Andrade. So, he was revealed by LWO to be the replacement. And yun, that was solid match too. And sobrang maganda siya, oh. Pero parang that was a waste of match. Let's face it. That was a waste of match. Sayang. Sayangan ako. Sana maulit. Sana maulit yung trios with Dragon Lee on the table. Pero yun. Yun lang. Okay. So, continue natin. So, baka na-miss nyo lang. So, Charlie Dempsey is not in the building nga pala on this episode because he is in Japan. So, he competed for the Triple Crown Championship last January 3 sa AJPW. So, yun. Yun lang. So, Roxanne Perez competed on a match against Ariana Grace. So, walang match si Ariana dito, of course. Pero, yun. This match is more on how Ariana can provoke Roxanne. Yun, that's the point here. So, yun ang punto dito. So, medyo she is trying to lean on a heel turn. So, Roxanne is more on leaning towards a heel turn. Pero, yun, medyo nagkaroon din ng sunog na medyo nag-turn na din si Roxanne. I hope continue siya towards the Royal Rumble. So that's a good thing. So magandang dynamic ng characters nila. That's a good thing. And may continuity dito na maganda. Inaabangan ko yung continuity dito. And yung maganda kasi dito kay Roxanne ngayon, sa napapansin ko, mas nakikita natin yung character. Or pag-evolve ng character niya. Mas sure ako doon. Mas nag-evolve yung character niya. Hindi lang siya nag-stick doon sa fangirl na very typical. Ibang-iba na siya. Ibang-iba talaga tong Roxanne to. And I hope they can capitalize this. Pero yun lang. It was a solid one. Pero continue. So yun nga, in-announce ni Ava, aka Shawn Michaels' assistant, that the Dusty Cup will return starting next week. Men's Dusty Cup ito for context. Ayun, so also Baron Corbin is trying to convince Braun Breaker to team up in a Dusty Cup match. Ayun nga, so they're trying to convince each other for the Dusty Cup. So Nathan Frazer and Axiom are now a team. So that's a good thing. Yun lang. So ito, I have this thing. Ito, address ko to. Importante to kasi pick of the week ko to eh. So, Tiffany Stratton just became a servant of Palon Henley's servant. And that was a good shit segment. These two women can interact with each other and it works. Sobrang ganda kasi ng chemistry nila. And hindi walang naglalak sa kanila. So kumbaga, yung dynamic nila ang solid. Umaasa ako na pag nagka-Dusty Cup sa women's, sila yung manalo. Putang ina, that would be a good shit moment if Tiffany and Fallon wins the Dusty Cup. So prior to this nga pala, so in-announce din nila Briggs, Jensen, tsaka ni Fallon that 3 of them will go to their respective ways. So, medyo ang mag-gain ng advantage dito ay si Fallon. So, ito na nga. Nakuha na natin yung advantage. So, Tiffany is now a fucking servant or farmhand nga yung tawag dito. Farmhand na nga yung tinatawag nila. So, yun. So, totoo lang, sobrang solid talaga. So, Roxanne, tapos si Tiffany, tsaka si Fallon. Man, imagine that. Sobrang nagkiklik talaga sila na yung things on them, wow, that was solid. Ayun na nga, so with this win, so Tiffany Stratton is now a ranch hand for a day. And mas important din sa atin na mag-lead din ito on Stratton and Fallon teaming up together. That's a good thing. Diba? See? So they can build a possibly Tyro shot on Team 2KC. That would be great too. And yun na nga, di na siya nakagulat pag nangyari yun. Pero that would be great either. That's a win. And yun lang. So Cora Jade and Gigi Dolin are now feuding. Yeah, yun lang. So ito na nga, so men's breakout tournament. Nalimutan ko na may breakout nga pala. So we have Oba Femi versus Riley Osborne. So they have this Thea Hale medyo obsessed kay Osborne. So yun. So yeah. So this match, tawag dito. This match is just okay, I admit. That match was okay lang. Okay lang. Pero yan lang. Wala akong masabi. Pero si Femi, I see big on him. I swear. Malaking bagay yan. Maraming pwedeng makita kay Femi in the future. I cannot wait to see him more. I swear. Yun, continue. So, yun nga, after of the match, JC Jing is now taking over Chase U. And then they're trying to pair up Duke Hudson and Osborne for the Dusty Classic. Ayun na nga. So, also to address, Ridge Holland is now addressing a story here in NXT. So, parang nagbibuild na siya ng redemption story sa NXT. So, that's a good thing. And yeah, that's the point. Yan. Continue natin. So, Trick Williams versus Ilya Dragunov is originally set for this event. Pero yun nga, hindi nangyari because Ilya is not medically cleared to compete on this show. So, Grayson Waller mocked Trick Williams backstage until Carmelo Hayes announced that Trick will fight Waller with the Tyro shot on the line. So, yun na. Yun lang. So, Shawn Michaels announced a former NXT champion is very interested on this match too. And that was Kevin Owens. So, yeah, that was a continuity classic. Ang ganda nito. Basta masabi ko, ang ganda ng continuity nila Keyo at saka ni Grayson Waller. Nadala pa sa main roster. And nadala pa sa NXT yung shit nila sa main roster. And that was a fun shit, if you ask me. And ang daming shit na nangyari sa main roster between Keyo, Theory, and Grayson. And yet, this is definitely my favorite one because ang ganda ng continuity nila. I swear, that was a solid one. And yun na nga. Yun lang. So, I think this is the match of the week ko for NXT New Year's Evil. Pero solid pa rin. Sobrang solid pa rin. So, magandang testing ground din yon for Trick Williams. And maganda rin continuity for the feud between KO, Austin Theory, tsaka Grayson Waller. Yan. Pero yan lang. Pero ang sure ako, may continuity pa rin naman sa Trick Melo feud, tsaka sa Waller KO. That's a good thing. Yan. That's a good thing. Yan lang. But that's okay na. Overall, mas nag-shine yung woman when it comes to this event. Ganito naman lagi yung NXT lately no, na mas nag-shine din talaga yung woman. Tapos yung Tiffany tsaka Fallon, sobrang solid din po siya. I cannot wait to see how this story within Fallon and Tiffany. I cannot wait to see this something on both of them. Lalo na yung part na magiging farhand na si Tiffany. That would be great as for sure. Ayan. Roxanne tsaka Tiffany, Roxanne tsaka Ariana Grace na walang feud. Pero sobrang solid din. I swear sobrang solid din nung napakita nila. Pero it's more on women. This NXT New Year's Evil is more on women. So nakakatuwa na napakadami pa rin palang women sa NXT, sa WWE. And yun. Yun lang. Pero like what I said, tong New Year's Evil, kung naghahanap kayo ng puro wrestling sa tatlong shows na to, I think it dominated both Raw and SmackDown. New Year's Evil tsaka New Year's Revolution respectively. Pero kung special wise, okay lang. Okay lang siguro na maging rebound siya nung tatlong shows after nung deadline. Okay lang. Yan lang, sakto lang siya. Okay, let's go now to SmackDown New Year's Evil. So nasa na nga ba yung thoughts ko for SmackDown? Nakalimutan ko yung thoughts ko. So SmackDown, address na nga natin AJ Styles, Randy Orton. Tapos ano pa ba? Sorry, nakalimutan ko. Nakalimutan ko yung thought ko. So it's SmackDown, yun na nga. Randy, LA Knight, tas AJ Styles, ay putya. Wait lang, highlight ko nga mabuti. Yun naman pala yung thought ko. Ayan, nawala yung thought ko, sorry. Yan, got it. So, ito na nga. Ito na yung SmackDown. So, Roman Reigns returned on SmackDown. So, that's a good thing. So, he ruined the three-way between Orton, LA Knight, and AJ Styles. And then, yun na nga, Logan Paul is watching then for the winner of the match between Santos and Kevin Owens. And yun na nga, yung women's title match between Io Sky and Minchin. Yun lang. So, yun yung advertised on this show. So, Tyler Bate debuted too on this event. So, that's a good thing too. And yan, yun lang naman. Wala naman masyadong kailangan i-address sa episode na to. Aside to the fact na Grayson tuloy. Si Nick Aldis is now warning Paul Heyman na mag-ingat siya sa kanya kasi mas disaster siya gumawa ng stuff, no? Pero yun, that was a solid episode of SmackDown. Address na nga natin kung ano yung nangyari. So, ito yung umpisa. So, we have Roman. We have Roman here just laughing. Basically, inulit niya lang yung tweet niya sa X nung kay The Rock. Pero yun, in-address niya lang yun. Tumatawa lang siya. Yun. Then, we have the three-way. Tawag dito, we have the three-way muna. Yung contendership match for the US title. So, KO and Santos Escobar. That was solid too. And yeah, that was a solid match. And that's it. Si KO ang number 1 contender for the US title at the Royal Rumble. So, Logan Paul cuts off the announcement and he addressed Kevin Owens immediately. So, that's the continuity that we have. Parang ininsulto na ni Logan Paul si KO pagkatapos dahil hindi daw siya taga-US para maging champion. Eh, naging champion na nga yan before. Tangahin ka ba? Yun. Then, continue natin. Bobby Lashley is now a babyface apparently. So, that's a good thing. Yes, that's a good thing for sure. And, wow. Okay, I swear that was a solid one. And I cannot wait to see more of Bobby Lashley and Profits. Ayan, speaking of which, so Bobby Lashley and Profits are in the ring together. So, hindi daw magandang year in 2023 for him. But, they addressed two things here. Number one, kung ano yung goal nila for 2024. So, Dawkins and Mondes addressed that they want the tag titles and then Lashley wants to become the WWE champion again. And yun na nga, nag-lights out and then Karrion Kross, and then Scarlett. Then Paul Ellering steps out behind them, and then AOP attacking Street Profits, and then lays them out. Then Karrion Kross pulled Bobby Lashley in the ring, and then he hits him with the TKO. Yun. So apparently si Lashley is now a babyface, so obviously that was a turn. And yun na nga. Guys, kung may opportunity na split yung tag titles, this is the perfect time to split those fucking titles. I have to tell this explicitly because that's the only way they have to do it, or I have to explain it to you guys. If there's an opportunity to split the tag titles, they should do it now. Okay, continue. So Io Sky versus Minchin MEM for the women's title. That was a fun match between Io and Minchin. But in the end, Io Sky retained for the women's title. And then Paul Heyman promo real quick in the backstage. Ito yung highlight that Roman Reigns wants to sit at the table with The Rock, the head of the table, and to do so, one must be invited to the dinner of relevancy. So The Rock is not invited to such a dinner because he's just like everyone else looking for a shortcut to the headlines. And there's two ways to guarantee going viral today. Date Taylor Swift or challenge Roman Reigns for the undisputed title. And John Cena, Brock Lesnar, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Randy Orton, AJ Styles, and LA Knight all smashed or will be smashed. And there's no man on this planet that can beat Roman Reigns. So, ayun na nga, di ko na pag-uusapan yung sumunod na match. So, Bianca entered the Royal Rumble again for this year. Then, ito na nga. So, Tyler Bate is now part of SmackDown. So, BSS now part of SmackDown. Sayang si Trent Seven. He is now part of TNA. But we will talk about TNA in the next episode. Ayun. So, Tyler Bate and Wilson started this match. And this just as a fun match. I hope that BSS will get solid things in the future. And then, yun nga, same then with same with the other member ng used to be Brawling Brutes. I hope all of them can get really good shit in the coming run, coming days. And I hope BSS or British Strong Style can get something on the table in the near future. Okay, so let's continue. So Ashante Adonis had a meeting with Nick Aldis. So he said that he is ready, he is hungry, he needs an opportunity. So Aldis says he believes in him and he has some ideas that he will be interested to hear. So yun na nga, yun lang. So main event of SmackDown. So basically, this is your typical main event. This is your typical main event. Orton, Styles, and Knight fighting with a title shot on the line for Roman Reigns. And yun, that was a really good match. But yeah, that was a crap ending. Because Roman Reigns ruined the whole thing. And then the match ended in no contest. Then here's the return. Nick Aldis noticed Paul Heyman. And then he informed him that the Royal Rumble, he will defend the title in a 4-way match. On how it goes, that's very interesting. Pero hindi siya aware na may 4-way sa Royal Rumble. Naging aware lang siya pagka-ere lang. Pagka-ere lang, as in. Pagka-ere lang. Yun. Okay, so yun lang. Yun lang naman for this week Yun lang naman ang sa akin for this week sa mga shows ng WWE. So before we go to the commercial break, I know you guys will agree with me on this, no? So I hope, pagdasal ko sana, I hope na pinagdadasal ko bago tayo mag-break na yung mga announcements for the Royal Rumble, hindi dapat nila ginagawa eh. Sa totoo lang, they don't have to announce every fucking entrant who will enter the Royal Rumble. So, kung sino man yung papasok ng Royal Rumble, so what? So be it. Diba? Kung sino yung papasok ng Royal Rumble, dapat surprise. Para surprise talaga eh. Para wala tayong expectation versus reality. I know, some factors kaya medyo ina-advertise nila yung mga Royal Rumble participants. It's because of marketing din towards the tickets. Pero sana naman WWE, I hope stop advertising or announcing who is entering the Royal Rumble. So for example, ginamit nila yung 2024 preview, may announcement daw kuno, pero in the end that's a CM Punk. That's only CM Punk thing na related doon, and then in-announce lang nila na sa Canada yung Money in the Bank. But nakakasira kasi ng surprise yung mga ganyang announcement eh. Kaya sana wag na silang maggawa ng announcements. So hindi na siya nagiging surprise, no? Tradition na to eh. I'm sure na you guys are sick na din of these announcements na ina-announce nila yung Royal Rumble participants na I hope na but yes, they're doing it for some factors, pero I hope yung mga announcements na to matigil na kahit paano. And sana surprise talaga yung mga Royal Rumble. Pero kaya kong i-bypass yung mga tao na may reason na mag-enter ng Royal Rumble nang ina-announce talaga. It's either for the tickets, promotional. Pero regardless on who is participating the Royal Rumble or kung sino man yung magpa-participate ng Royal Rumble, I hope na konti lang yung i-announce nila na winners. The rest, yun. Sana wag nilang gawing habit yung ganun. Kasi nakakabuisit. I hope you guys are not frustrated with it too, pero I have to address it, the elephant in the room. Okay. So for now, we're just going to take a short break here. Tapos tayo sa WWE. And when we come back, pag-usapan naman natin yung iba pang shows o pag-usapan natin yung iba pang AEW shows tsaka yung Worlds End. Recap natin, gawa tayo ng recap ng Worlds End towards this half of the show. So for now, we're just going to take a short break. Let's check our bunkmates on Bunk Collective.
Naguulat mula sa shore na kasing pretty ko.
Bringing you the latest and greatest.
And diving deep into the cool waters
of BLs and GLs.
And every kind of love there is.
We are the Shippers. Sail with us as we watch our favorite queer love stories.
And update you about the latest every week.
Kaya tara, sakay na as we sail the open seas.
With new episodes Mondays and Wednesdays on all major podcast streaming platforms.
Sakay na you. Let's go.
Hey everyone, this is Mo Twister, and you're listening to the Kingdom Podcast with the voice, DJ Yuki.
That was the OG, Mo Twister, promoting this podcast. If you like Korean pop culture, or know someone who does, then get into it, and visit our Facebook, Twitter and Instagram pages at the Kingdom Pod PH.
We're proud to tell you that this is one of the premier shows to go to for your weekly dose of K-pop. So drop everything and listen to the Kingdom Podcast. Available in all your podcast streaming platforms.
Join us!
Ayun, I'm back. I'm back on the show. So marami lang in-address sa backstage kaya napahaba yung post ko. Pero yan, continue natin. So we have AEW Worlds End. So address na lang natin yung results. So marami mahaba-haba yung results ng show na to. So yes, ang dami, mahaba-habang AEW Worlds End ito. So, di ko na ginawa ng review, di ko na rin ginawa na ng Patreon. Pero interesting pag-usapan yung mga nangyari, yung ibang nangyari sa Worlds End. Sobrang interesting niya. So let's start with the recap of the show. So we have a Blackpool Combat Club, Mark Briscoe and Daniel Garcia defeating Jay Lethal, Brody King, Jay White, and Rush in a 8-man tag. Yun. 4x4, 8-man tag. So yun, Miro defeated Andrade El Idolo with CJ Perry. So CJ betrayed Andrade on this match. So this also served as the last match ni Andrade. So yeah, I get what this story how plays out. And yun, I cannot wait to see more of AEW kay Miro. And I hope that Andrade can return to his own home, which is WWE. Then Tony Storm, timeless Tony Storm, defeated Riho by pinfall for the AEW Women's World Championship. Then also for some reasons, medyo na last minute ito. So Swerve Strickland defeated Dustin Rhodes in a pinfall match. Originally dapat si Keith Lee ito for some reasons nabago ito. Then Sting, Darby Allin, and Jericho, Sammy Guevara defeated Ricky Starks, Big Bill, and the Don Callis family, which is Konosuke Takeshita and Powerhouse Subs. Then Julia Hart defeated Abaddon for the TBS title. Adam Copeland defeated Christian Cage with Shayna Baszler and Nick Wayne. Prodigy Nick Wayne by pinfall for the TNT title. So this was a clean beat for Christian losing to Adam Copeland, but the second half is a different one. So Christian Cage regained the TNT title by beating Adam Copeland. So Christian Cage cashed in the title shot na nakuha ni Kill Switch on the pre-show. So that was a predictable shit. Then ayun. So Christian Cage redeemed the title, but Adam Copeland won the war. So Eddie Kingston defeated John Moxley for the finals of the Continental Classic. So 3 titles la yung hawak ni Eddie Kingston, which brings me to the point na i-address ko mamaya. Then Samoa Joe defeated MJF for the AEW title with the main event. And then Adam Cole was revealed as the devil on this match as well. So yun lang yung nangyari sa buong show. And yung aftermath ay pag-usapan natin later on. Ayun. So aftermath, we began on some stuff here. So we would taking everything from anyone. So also things was explained on this episode ng upcoming Dynamite. So Adam Cole, Wardlow, Roderick Strong, Matt Taven, and Mike Bennett are now Undisputed Kingdom. And they said that MJF will never come back. Then it was announced too that a 4-way will take place to determine the first challenger for the triple crown. And nanalo dito ay si Trent Barreta, and that was a really good match too. But yeah, for the continuity, I don't need these matches. Ayun, address na natin yung aftermath. So aftermath, let's start with Samoa Joe kicking off the show. So he cuts a promo that he defeated MJF for the belt. And then yun na nga yung kay Adam Cole addressing his betrayal, and he said that he has to do it, and it's very usual na ginamit niya si MJF. That's a very logical reason. That's why he betrayed MJF. So unahan ko na kayo, hindi po alis si MJF, hindi rin po siya pupunta ng ibang company. Lang po siya, magtitik lang siya ng absence kasi apparently he's injured. So they address that. May nag-address nito, I think it's from 1. Pero yan. So Adam Cole issued the warning to Samoa Joe and appeared to ready to exit when Jay White interrupted. So medyo may mind games dito on this end, no? Pero in-address din, in-explain din ng ba tawag dito? In-address din ng Undisputed Kingdom yung kanilang intention. So Kingdom has the belts, tag titles. Yeah. And then Wardlow has the contendership for the AEW title. So technically, he will be the one who will take the AEW belt. Then si Roderick Strong for Orange Cassidy sa international belt. Then Adam Cole said that eventually, if okay na siya, he will be the one who will take it from Wardlow. So medyo may tease na doon na magiging one-time promotional stable lang itong Undisputed Kingdom. So medyo may bitin na doon, may continuity na doon. And ang weird din, and ang weird kasi planado na yung intention nila. Na-mention na yung intention. And ang stupid din. Ayun. So, address na lang natin yung mga ibang nangyari sa show. So, Orange Cassidy defeated Dante Martin to retain the international title. Also, Mariah May defeated Queen Amiata. In fairness to Mariah May, she is impressive as fuck. I hope that I can see her more in the TV. Pucha. I cannot wait to see Mariah May more on my TV screen. I swear. Then also, it was announced that Deonna Purrazzo is also all elite. Ayun. So, Deonna is now all elite as well in the process. So, that was announced as well on this thing. So, yun. Yun. Deonna said that she warned Toni Storm that she's coming for the AEW Women's title. So, thank you then kay Mariah May for earning a super kick from Deonna. Then, that's it. Yun. Deonna, not gonna lie, malaking bagay siya for the women's division na kailangan ng AEW. And I hope na hindi umasa si Tiki sa mga bagong kuha niya para sa pag-set ng solid na pundasyon for the AEW Women's title. And I hope this will not the end of Tony Khan establishing this solid women's division and using his solid women's division better here. Yun. So, Christian Cage, she addressed the building here na mas important talaga kung paano nag-react yung crowd. And it's very testament na ginawang talunan si Luchasaurus, si Kill Switch. It's very notable na ganun talaga yung approach sa kanya, nakakagago. Pero yun, pero it's very solid. Nakita si Nick Wayne and that's a very solid to see Christian Cage just running this whole thing here. And I think medyo naglilin na rin tayo sa fact na Nick Wayne might be the one who will beat Christian for the belt. Medyo nandun na rin ako sa point na yun. Yeah. So we have also Darby versus Konosuke Takeshita. That was a really good 2 match. Yun lang. Wala naman akong kailangan i-address doon. Then, ano ba? Swerve Strickland versus Daniel Garcia. Man, this so good too. Ang daming moving developments dito sa match na to. And that was a solid one. That was predictable. But that was a solid thing. Pucha, sobrang solid makita ng dalawang moving developments na to na sobrang seryoso ni Swerve tapos puta Eddie Garcia Daniel Garcia and Prince Nana just dancing on this shit. That's just fun as hell. That was a really good spice to the AEW title picture. Pero ito, yun na yung main event. So Hangman made his return and that's it. Pero ito, sinasabi ko na to ilang episode ago na eh. So, kailangan ko nang i-remind ulit kayo na medyo magulo yung picture ngayon ng AEW when it comes to the AEW title picture, no? Medyo magulo. I swear. Napakagulo. So, kasi daming moving figures eh. Nandyan si Adam Cole, si Wardlow, si MJF, obviously. He's still on the picture technically. Then, we have this possible Hangman then, kay Swerve then. There's a lot of pictures or developments that's on the AEW title picture. And I wish, though, ito sana yung nag-resolve ng problema noong C2, nung merong C2 tournament. And with that, nagmukhang pointless yung C2, no? Nagmukha siyang pointless in a way na they just made Eddie Kingston more complicated with the belts that he has. Oo, sobrang komplikado nun in a way, pero that's the only purpose naman of this whole tournament. And the way that they presented Eddie Kingston here, and they just made my fucking point here very sense. Na wala talagang point yung tournament. Yan talaga masasabi ko. Wala talagang point, wala talagang sense at all yung tournament na yun. And I hope that when TK decides to bring this tournament back, lagyan naman nila ng title stake. Like something title shot for AEW title. Like maybe something title shot for Dynamite coming week. Yun, that would be great. Pero sobrang pointless talaga ng first tournament na to ng TK. I really love the matches though for the C2 tournament. I do. Pero for the continuity, parang ang dami kasing moving figures eh. Like, we are, mag-aantay tayo hanggang March just to determine who will be the number 1 contender? That's dumb. That's a dumb booking shit. That was a dumb booking shit. If you're going to ask me, na kung mag-aantay pa tayo ng 3 buwan just to determine who will Samoa Joe face next, that's a dumb shit picture that you're seeing right now. Pero yun nga, sobrang fun makita ng AEW title picture na yun, lalo na sa women's at saka sa men's. Pero magulo, sobrang gulo talaga. I hope na maayos siya sa iba pang mga episode. Medyo centric na siya sa mga wrestling din, mas wrestling centric na siya. May rami ding introduction na nangyari, like yung Eddie Kingston, triple belting, yung Undisputed Kingdom, yung panalo ni Diona, then the pag-debut niya. Tapos yung Christian, sobrang solid. Then ng run niya sa AEW title. Then Samoa Joe representing the company. That was a really good solid thing to discover here in AEW. Pero ang problema kasi dito talaga, kahit sobrang solid ng AEW programming ngayon, kahit sobrang solid nito, I admit may ups and downs talaga ang AEW. Pero it depends talaga on Tony Khan's, na I hope Tony Khan really consider getting some bookers on his way. At hindi tayo mag-deal sa mga so-so booking na real booking ni TK. Na in the first place, na-resolve na siya na nung pukinangin ng C2 tournament na yan. Hindi talaga ako natutuwa on how he folded the C2. Pucha, sana dinala nila inulit yung C2. Pero seryoso, maganda yung C2. Maganda yung ideya na magkaroon ng C2. Ng Continental Classic. Kaya lang, there's a lot of moving figures or moving pictures that we are getting in AEW na nag-lead sa napaka-komplikadong AEW title picture. And I hope they can fix that in coming weeks at hindi putyo-putyo na build-up yan. Hindi pa pwede yan. Lalo't evolution o revolution ang susunod na pay-per-view. Ay nako. Pero ito kung ganito lang din putyo-putyong build-up ang gusto ni Tony, meron akong fearless forecast for the main event ng Revolution. So, gusto kong mangyari Samoa Joe versus Sting. Kung may reason ako, wala lang, just to cap off Sting's run in AEW, retirement niya. And to cement his exit then in the company and the business with a title match. And +1 na throwback din ito on their run with TNA before. That would be great as well to see Sting having a run with the belt or challenge with the belt. Either way, it works. That would be great for Sting. Darby can get his shot soon. Pero I think that maganda talagang pang main event for the Revolution. That would be great between Samoa Joe and Sting for the AEW title. So I hope TK can consider that. And that would be great in the long run then if you ask me, and down the road. Yan lang naman. So I hope TK can consider ideas. I hope TK also has self-awareness. And I hope TK is starting to think about his 2024 plans. Especially with the AEW title. It's on the balance there. Yan ang mas kailangan niya i-consider in the window when this 2 months of build ng Revolution 2024. Yan lang naman. So, kung may i-address pa ako, ayun, MWF Noche Buena. So, season ender ng MWF noong December 25. So, ayun, maraming na-address na story, marami din na close na story, at marami ding nangyaring interesting stories on this MJF, or marami din nangyari sa Noche Buena sa dito, no? Marami nangyari sa MWF this year. Same with FPW. Yan, no doubt. Wala akong, para magsalita lang muna ako. Wala akong bias towards MWF and FPW. Sadyang may pagkakataonan talaga that I really like the way MWF presenting things. FPW, I admit, they are good. Pero I see more things interesting in the MWF side of things over FPWs. But to be fair, they're good too. Pero yeah, yun lang. Yun. For the continuity lang, marami tayong kailangan i-address, no? Start natin with the Noche Buena stuff. Maraming nangyari sa Noche Buena. Nagawa na lang natin ng recap, no? So, pasalamat muna tayo kay Wayne, kay our friend Wayne, that he compiled the results for MWF Noche Buena. So, thank you very much. Wala kasi akong compilation ng results ng Noche Buena. So, yun. Marami muna akong i-shoutout for the continuity of this thing. So, first, I have to give a shoutout to Derv. Finally, nakita ko rin si Derv po siya. Derv is a really good guy, a really, really big guy. Then, si Diego, D Prime. Nice meeting you, bro. He is a solid DI too. Then, si Ali, si Cilantro. Putang ina, pangalan kasi Cilantro. Ayun, lahat ng mga sumusuporta sa MWF, PWPH, kay Christian as always, joining the crew. Then, buong MWF as a rule, maraming salamat sa pagtitiwala sa show at sa dito din sa podcast, sa main event. Marami pa kayong aabangan dito sa podcast na to, and I hope you guys can join. And marami pa tayong pag-uusapan down the road at marami din kayong aabangan, I swear. But bigyan ko lang kayo ng konting recap on what we are going to get or what we got sa Noche Buena. Recap lang ito, no worries. Hindi naman tayo magtatagal dito sa half na to ng MWF part na to, sa portion na to ng show. So I know medyo palobo na yung mga pinagsasabi ko today. But yun, address na lang natin yung result na nangyari sa Noche Buena and yung mga gusto kong i-look forward for the 2024, no? So, Ken Cypher and SJM defeated Sera and Umizawa for the Wu Tag Team titles. So, also addressed here in the show. Asaya Valencia defeated CJ Serapin. So, CJ Serapin is no longer part of Barangay Bagsakan. Also here, that was addressed, El Catipunero defeated kapatid na Benny. Then ito na nga yung favorite ko sa Noche Buena. So Joey Rosas defeated Michael Su and Bitman to win the Hong Kong Philippine Alliance Cup. Then Danger Rex Lawin defeated Ho Holon for the contendership match for the MWF Pinoy Wrestling Championship. So the trial between on the trial on Opa Kitty and Tarek, and guilty. He was held guilty verdict for Tarek. And then Aaron Liwanag defeated Jomar, and Jomar is now no longer part of the Bayan ng Liwanag. Then Aaron Liwanag is now the leader of barangay Bayan ng Liwanag. And then Super P defeated Chelsea Marie Joya and Patricia Ligaya in a amazing four-way match from MWF Noche Buena. And then finally the four-way, so technically Oro Plata Mata defeated MWF All-Stars with Jake De Leon defeating Main Max in the main event of MWF Noche Buena 2023. So safe to say na intact pa din ang MWF or Plata Mata except on Main Max. Yun lang naman. So safe to say intact pa din sila until the end of the things here. Pero yun lang naman. So I have to address three things lang that I really want to see in 2024. Number one, it's mainly focused on Main Max, no? I really love Main Max. Main Max from being the from being the sikyo ng MWF to this Oro Plata Mata thing to possibly the face of MWF. I hope MWF can capitalize on this, and I hope they will not miss on this. Especially with Philippine Wrestling celebrating its 10th anniversary on MWF Noche Buena. I hope that I swear I hope they can get something from it. Main Max is an OG. Let's put that in a window na agad. Main Max beating JDL in the main event, either way, Road to Fate or Noche Buena, will be the icing on the cake on this whole 10-year run ng Philippine Wrestling. Itong ina-hype ng MWF ngayon towards the 10th year of the Philippine Wrestling scene. I hope they can capitalize on this, and I hope they can address this in the future run ng MWF, no? Pero yun, I would love to see on how Main Max will finish his story. Baka maunahan niya pa si Cody. Ayun, number 2, I really want to see in MWF in 2024 more tyros. Sabi ko na to sa ibang pagkakataon, tatanong ko na rin to sa ibang pagkakataon. Check nyo na lang yung episode ko with JDL and NSJ. Pero I think applicable pa rin sila sa situation na to. So I would love to see more tyros in MWF this year. Like women's tyro for the women, or maybe yung tyro na defendable din. Unlike the trophy that they have with Ken Cypher, yung ano man tawag dito, yung nasa dulo ng dila ko. Fuck. Nawala sa isip ko. Basta yan, yung tournament na yun, sana maging defendable din yung trophy ni Ken Cypher down the road pag nagkaroon ulit ng tournament. Nawala lang sa isip ko yung pangalan ng tournament, but naiisip ko talaga siya. It's a tournament thing. Parang one-way tournament. I hope they can address that too in the future. And yung kay Joey Rosas, pero feeling ko hindi dependable yung kay Joey Rosas based on what we see. I hope they can address that in the future. Pero yun, I hope magkaroon si MWF ng something na pwedeng i-chase ng MWF wrestlers aside from the MWF belt, na hindi lang focused on hindi lang mag-focus sa MWF tyro picture yung mga manonood, kundi magkaroon din sana ng side quest like itong belt na to, pwedeng pang cash in kay GDL, or tong belt na to, maybe pwede rin natin gawing secondary belt o second belt ng MWF. At least there's any opportunities or big opportunities coming with MWF this year, that would be great. Plus one din sa akin kung may women's title, kung women's title itong makukuha ni MWF. Plus one to sa akin kung ako yung tatanungin nyo, no? Pero yun, MWF women's title will be great for me. Iklihan ko na lang yung thoughts ko kasi may impact pa ako next episode. Pero yun, number 2 was more titles in MWF. Number 3, pull the fucking trigger on Joey Rosas. Yun talaga. Nasabi na to sa ibang podcast, pero pucha, Joey Rosas is just charismatic, amazing. And I hope they can pull the trigger with Joey Rosas. I swear, he is just amazing. I hope he will be the one who will beat whoever wins the MWF title at the end of the year. And I cannot wait to see Joey Rosas on that position anytime soon. And ikilihan ko na lang. Basta sabihin ko na lang, I hope na MWF can survive 2024 on their run sa UP. I cannot wait to see things in UP. Pero di ko mapapromise na lahat ng show na yung pupuntahan ko. Big 3 lang ako sa MWF this year. I'm gonna watch it on Rock of Manila naman. May Rock of Manila naman sa Facebook. So, yun. For me, sa MWF, malaking hopes ko sa MWF. FPW, the same. I hope that Madrigal can get his long title run that he wanted nung PWR days pa. And I really want to see him that way on his run sa FPW. Yun. Yun lang naman for me here on this first episode of the season of the MK Show podcast. Sorry guys, di ko na natakel yung TNA plus thoughts ko, and it will be added to my bonus episode that I'm going to release in a later date, so probably Wednesday or Thursday, dito pa rin sa The Main Event Mark Podcast. So with that, I'm going to address my picks of the week. This is from the day I took my leave of absence after the Bash Awards. So, Superstar of the Week, I have 3 picks here. So, it's Tetsuya Naito. Thank you for finishing the story. And then, I have Joey Rosas. Second one. And the third one is non-wrestler, but I have to pick Nick Audes. He's a really good, solid guy here. Woman, Rhea Ripley and Lola Vice. Lola Vice, sinama ko siya dito kasi sobrang lakas ng self-awareness niya. Mas malakas pa yung self-awareness niya sa may Money in the Bank. Damian Priest. Yan, ang ganda lang ng pasok ni Lola Vice dito. Sobrang surprising talaga. Yan, matches of the week na from the day I took my leave of absence. So I have Eddie Kingston versus Moxley from Worlds End. Yung 4-way sa Noche Buena, guys, kung di nyo pa napapanood, I swear you have to watch it. And then another women's match, Tiffany Stratton versus Fallon Henley. That was a solid one. I swear I cannot wait to see more of Fallon and Tiffany down the road. And hindi ako magsasawa on this, man. I really love their chemistry. I really love their passion here on the build ng feud na to. And I cannot wait to see more of them down the road. Yun. So, everyone, maraming salamat sa pakikinig ng first episode nitong Main Event Mark. And I hope you guys can stay here until the end because we're going to address as well what will happen here on the podcast in 2024. So, yun na nga. Thank you then for staying until the end nga on the show. So, today, we are now the Main Event Mark. You heard that from the beginning pa lang of this episode. I'm not going to address this on the next episode or succeeding episodes. But to make things short lang, we have to do this rebranding because medyo hindi naman sa nakakalatan ako. Siguro it's time for a change. Yes, sure naman ako dyan. Pero meron din kasing factor talaga pag sinesearch mo tong podcast ko before. may naglalabas sa mga laro and I have to remove that from the equation. So I have to start from scratch. And we have here main event Mark. Medyo related na siya sa wrestling. That's a good thing. And then yung logo, wag yun ang pansinin yung logo. The logo was fun. Finigure out ko siya 6 nights before the event or before today's episode. Medyo na-figure out ko siya ng late. But regardless, that was a fun time editing the logo and reforming the segments that we used to have in the MTA Show podcast na pinaplano natin bago pa tayo mag-main event Mark here. Ayun, lahat sila ay planado na, smooth na siya sa akin. And I hope na makapitalize natin yon in the coming weeks. And babago pa yung sistema ng episodes coming weeks. Okay, so yun lang. Sa mga makikinig pa sa show na to, maraming salamat sa inyong lahat. And in 2024 too, I have to announce this, but we have to deactivate na yung gunk natin kasi putangin ng gunk yan. Basura yung gunk. Basura yung gunk. Sabihin ko na agad sa inyo, sobrang basura ng gunk. No offense sa iba dyan. Pero sobrang basura ng gunk as a platform. Ano pa ba? Ayun. Stay ko na lang yung gunk ko kasi dami ko na lang. Pero other than that, wala na. Hindi ko nagagamitin yung gunk sa podcast. Pero isa pang bagay na kailangan ko i-address, 2024 will also be the year that the main event Mark will be connected to a new podcast. So nag-rebrand tayo ng MTA Show, yes. But that rebranding never ends with the rebranding of the Attention to Detail. So I have this podcast before na medyo inactive na. Pero in 2024, we are going to bring it back. But this time, this podcast will be renamed as Angelo Penera Unfiltered. More details on that will be addressed in the coming weeks. Sa wall ko naman, available naman lagi yung wall ko. So marami tayong i-address soon on that show. That will be a great fun days pag-usapan ng pro wrestling sa show na yon. Pero yan lang naman. So thank you very much for listening on this show. I hope you guys can enjoy it. For more podcasts, obviously, on this podcast, Main Event Mark, you can listen to the show always on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, on Google, and you can subscribe as well on YouTube. That's youtube.com/MEM-wrestling. So it's Main Event Wrestling or Main Event Mark Wrestling Pod. So it's MEM Wrestling Pod. So you can follow as well the podcast on all of the social media platforms. That's MEM Wrestling Pod. So, yun ang ating social media platform. So, it's MEM Wrestling Pod. So, that's on Facebook, Twitter, X, sa Instagram, sa Thread, sa TikTok, sa iba pa mga social media platforms. You can support the show as well on Patreon. That's patreon.com/MEMWrestlingPod. So yun lang naman, you can always support all of the shows of BUNK Collective, and you can always support BUNK Collective on our socials at the BUNK PH, and you can always visit the website thebunkph.com for more BUNK Collective shows. Wala namang bago sa The Kingdom, so di ko na ipa-plug yung Kingdom ngayon. So you can also check every show ng BUNK Collective sa lahat po ng shows namin. Like Cripsolog, they just released episodes. Nagpiping siya sa akin actually. So I have to plug it. Then yun lang naman. Cheapers, nagkaroon din ng new episode. So plug na rin natin Cheapers. And yun lang naman. So this will be the first episode of the season 6 of the Main Event Mark here on the podcast. For now, stay safe, stay rest. So we're out and see you on the next one. See ya. Thank you very much.